day, dear students. Before we begin your learning journey in the 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world, allow me first to present to you the content standards and most essential learning competencies. General description. This course aims to engage students in appreciation and critical study of 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world, encompassing their various dimensions, genres, elements, structures, contexts, and traditions. At this point, let's define these terms. Content standards. Broad statements explaining what students should know, care about, and be able to do in each level of learning. Most essential learning competencies pertain to what students need, considered indispensable in teaching learning process, to building skills, to equip learners for subsequent grade levels, and consequently for lifelong learning. First quarter content standards and most essential learning competencies. The learner will be able to understand and appreciate the elements and context of 21st century Philippine literature from the regions. Write a close analysis and critical interpretation of literary texts, and doing an adaptation of these require from the learner the ability to identify a. The geographic, linguistic, and ethnic dimensions of Philippine literary history, from pre-colonial to the contemporary. B. Representative texts and authors from each region. Example, engage in oral history, research with focus on key personalities from the student's region, province, town. That is for the week 1. Week 2. The learner will be able to understand and appreciate the elements and context of 21st century Filipino literature from the regions. Compare and contrast the various 21st century literary genres and the ones from the earlier genres periods, citing their elements, structures, and traditions. Week 3. The learner will be able to understand and appreciate the elements and context of 21st century Philippine literature from the regions. Discuss how different contexts enhance the text, meaning, and enrich the reader's understanding. Week 4. Same content standard. For the MELC, we have produced a creative representation of a literary text by applying multimedia and ICT skills. Week 5. Do self and or peer assessment of the creative adaptation of a literary text based on rationalized criteria prior to presentation. Second quarter content standards and most essential learning competencies. Content standard. The learner will be able to understand and appreciate literary texts in various genres across national literature and cultures. Write a close analysis and critical interpretation of literary texts, applying a reading approach, and doing an adaptation of these require from the learner the ability to identify representative texts and authors from Asia, North America, Europe, Latin America, and Africa. Week 2. Same content standard. For the MELC, we have compare and contrast the various 21st century literary genres and their elements, structures, and traditions from across the globe. Week 3. Produce a creative representation of a literary text by applying multimedia and ICT skills. Week 4. Do self and or peer assessment of the creative adaptation of a literary text based on rationalized criteria prior to presentation. You can make it, just believe in yourself. Now, my dear students, stop, think, share. How this subject will help you in real life. Share your answers in the comment box below by following this format: complete name, grade and section, and your answer. Thanks. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell.